Hey, Joe, I'm sending you another picture here. It'll be a photo. This woman running for Secretary of State. She just... she should know better. The fact that Grayton's is her mentor just blows me away.
That's interesting.
What?
What you're saying, I didn't even know that.
You don't know who I'm talking about?
No.
I'll show you in a second.
Okay.
Something has rubbed me wrong from the first time that I've seen her. And of course, my email is... All I know is that if there's a candidate who's promoting sex gender surgeries, and they're a Republican in the state of Missouri,
so
they need to cancel her now.
That's right. And that's who that is. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once I get this done, it's caught up.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting.
That's her name. First name.
Oh, okay. I do know who you're talking about. Well, and she's supposedly like the most ultra conservative is what she's playing. So I've researched her too, and
beware.
I 100%. There was something about her too. I agree with you that she was so over the top, but with no facts.
I agree. Good morning, Karen. Hey, Ben. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show as we get things rock and rolling this morning. Wow. Good morning, Kimberly, Trisha. Okay, let's see here. We'll use this with the, I just sent the picture to you, Joe. We'll use that with the Pope story, all right? Get started about 8 o'clock this morning, show before the show. Glad everybody's here today. Like, subscribe, share the show on all of our platforms. You know what we do.
You guys getting it up on YouTube? Oh, never mind. I see it. It just was slower. There it is.
Oh, my God. We'll save it. Somebody sent their, let's just put it this way, their balls in as a picture to a news station as they had viewer video of the eclipse. It was I just saw that come down. RCG Media plays video of man's testicles thinking they were showing the eclipse. Somebody's getting fired.
Somebody's in big trouble.
Shortly after the image displayed for all their viewers to see, the production team quickly removed it. The hosts were clearly disturbed as the two women sat with stunned looks on their faces. I guess you would call that a testicular eclipse.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
And the person who did it had to know they were going to be let go. I mean, they had to know.
No, but you don't see. No, it started. No, it wasn't done on purpose.
Oh.
It started black and it was like this light and they're like, oh, what is that? Oh, that's a man's balls.
Oh. Oh.
It did air. I don't know where RCG Media is. Always watch the video before you put it on air.
For sure. Yeah. Because you never know what you're going to get.
That's funny because I never do, and I just trust that you guys get.
No, well, yeah, but we said.
But we sent it to you, and even if it's something maybe we meant to do it.
Right.
Oh, it's a Hispanic station.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Did you do anything yesterday with the eclipse?
I did. It was so fun. It was like you go outside and you could start to see it getting darker and darker and darker. And then all the birds started going crazy and the crickets started going crazy. And, I don't remember the last time because I wasn't at home when we did it. I didn't remember my cats and my dog being so oversensitive to it. They were very sensitive to it.
I'm not repeating what you said, Greg. That was stupid and silly and gross. I'm sorry. I mean that affectionately to you because I know you're like there. You're going.
You probably can't. You probably can't say what he just typed on YouTube. But if you're on YouTube, you can read it.
You were waiting all 2 minutes to write that.
That's right. That's right.
I wonder if he's going to say it. Owls were hooting in Winfield.
That's awesome. Yeah, the animals.
To me, I didn't hear any owls.
Yeah, and we have an owl kind of in our backyard, and I didn't hear the owl, but I sure heard crickets and birds and the neighborhood dogs all going crazy. But it didn't get completely dark where we were at. It got darker, but not a blackout. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And Bindi said her cat slept through it. I had one cat that slept through it, but then freaked out towards the end of it.
My dog was fine. I took him outside.
Right.
Took my shoes off, walked around in the grass, and played with my dog. Yeah.
That's how my German Shepherd was. No big deal. Didn't care.
Right.
But my little dog was freaking out. Mm-hmm. I saw so many of our listeners had great pictures.
It was so silly. Traffic was backed up going south out of the Missouri area.
Yeah, several pictures were posted yesterday.
Like 4 hours it took some people to get home.
Yeah. There were people that live in the area like filming the traffic as they're driving by, just making fun of them.
Yeah, I agree with Terry. She says this one was way lighter and different than in 2017 in St. Charles. I agree. I was in St. Charles and it was completely dark in 2017. And then I was a little farther west, 20 minutes farther west, and it didn't get completely dark. It got darker, like it was maybe about ready to rain or storm for a little bit. And
yeah, no, I get it. I agree with you. It was a little different. I liked it though.
I did too. I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Lots of fun.
Oh, and Gary said he slept through it too, but Gary had surgery yesterday, and we missed you yesterday, Gary. So glad to see you on today.
I'm gonna say it feels like I'm at a 90s rave.
It does, doesn't it? Vic's gonna start dancing here in just a second. There he goes. He's gonna dance.
No, I'm not dancing. I'm running the board.
Oh, okay. That's what he's doing. Yep. He's the DJ.
Yo, yo, yo. Hey, hey, hey. Thanks, guys. Like, subscribe, share the show. Let everybody know what we got going on. If you don't have a... Oh, yeah, I was watching something. If you don't have an X account, you should get one. Check us out there as well. Also, go to all the platforms, like within, open it up. Give us a thumbs up, anything. That helps all the platforms. X, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Cloud Hub. Wow, we'll get to that. I had to get gas yesterday. My local gas guy who works the register said he was bummed out because he really thought he was going to get superpowers yesterday.
Superpowers?
Mm-hmm. He was hoping to get superpowers.
Yeah, I didn't end up with any superpowers after it either.
Boom, 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 boom.
I didn't end up with any new ones.
And you have superpowers.
Right.
You just didn't get any more.
Right.
Okay. Thank God somebody has superpowers around here. And you have them, Pro Joe. Joe Pro.
Let's see here. All right, Joe, Pro Joe, let's get this thing going on a Tuesday. What do you say?
Sure.
Or we could just listen to music.
Yeah, we can just listen to music for the next 2 hours.
I was in here jamming.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And welcome into cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe here as well, taking care of everything from the technical side. Guys, we're grateful you're in with us. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Okay, you know what we do? News headlines, trends, the water cooler talk, political news, headlines. We've got interviews from all over the country, the cancel culture stories, the stories that people refuse to talk about in the media, of course, and of course, our Free for All Fridays. Grateful everybody's joining us again. It is April 9th. We're ready for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. That's what we do. The big story yesterday, obviously, was the eclipse. I went to a parking lot near my place of residence, and I was by myself, and I watched it.
All by your little self?
Yeah, all by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it again in 20 years. I plan on doing it again in 20 years.
Me too. I'll be there doing it in 20 years.
Who knows where we'll be in 20 years from now, what'll be happening. But interestingly enough, when it came to the eclipse, I thought it was so damn cool again. Kimberly from the chat line already said she was crying, making her feel as if how insignificant we are as humans. When you see something of that nature, you're taught about astrology, you're taught about everything that's happening in the skies and our planets and our moon and our sun. And then, of course, you get to experience that. Okay, good story. Yes, I found glasses, but here's the thing. I went to not one, not two, 3 places yesterday following the show. Could not get them. I called Lowe's. They literally answered the phone and said, "Hi, this is Lowe's. We're out of glasses. How can I help you?" That was what they said. I'm like, oh, dear God. I was like, thank you.
And we promoted them for 5 times.
So obviously people were getting the glasses anywhere and everywhere. Then I went to 2 gas stations. They didn't have it. I went to a 3rd gas station, or I went to, no, it was Walgreens, then 2 gas stations. So I tried another one, but this was all just in the St. Louis area, one place in the Chesterfield Valley. So then I walked into a gas station. And then I walked up to the counter and I said, "Do you guys by chance have glasses?" And I go there occasionally and I recognize the woman. She goes, "How many you need?" And I said, just 1 pair. She's like, "Here, just do that quietly." She's like, "I asked my guy." She goes, "I asked my guy, he works at a bank." She's like, "This is like on the down low. Like these glasses are like cocaine, gold bars."
Yeah. So you got glasses
She
on
goes,
the down low.
She like slid it on the over the counter to me. She's like, "Here." She's like, "I asked my guy to get them from the bank, for special customers."
And you're a special
And she
customer.
slid me a pair of glasses. Like I was. So, I mean, she really, it's all in the messaging. It's all in the delivery. She made me feel like I was special.
That was good.
I said, "I pray blessings over you. Thank you for taking care of me today. I appreciate it." I went and got a Gatorade. And then
you got
walked
Gatorade with glasses to go.
Yeah, I did. I went and got one. So I was grateful for that. And so, yeah, somebody asked me on the chat line if I ever got glasses. Because I just went in and like, hey, it's cool. It's great. I loved it. I couldn't believe the traffic in the St. Louis metropolitan area headed south to where people could try to experience it 100%. Because in Missouri, there were places where you could get a total eclipse.
Yeah.
We did not get that in the St. Louis metropolitan area. However, It was cool to see. Joe, did you watch?
I just went outside and played with my
the
dog. I didn't have any glasses. However, I did see the lighting change.
You know, I wore my glasses from the last time, and then someone told me that there's an expiration on the glasses. And so I looked down, and sure enough, it had an expiration date, and it was beyond. So I had expired glasses on my eyes. So I don't know what that means.
Terry said, how many fingers am I holding up? Terry went all over, found out my old ones were not good anymore. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I used them anyway because I didn't even look at that, and I put them on my eyes. They seemed fine. And then afterwards, somebody said those glasses were expired, and I'm like, "How do you know?" And they said she just said, "Look down." Sure enough, the expiration date was like 2 years ago.
Well, I did see in the area I was in less people driving on the road. So hopefully people, as we warned everybody again yesterday, not to drive and look up in the sky. Hopefully that did not happen because we told you fatalities went up 31% during the eclipse of 2017.
Yeah.
Next one's not till 2044, the 44-45 area. So hope you enjoyed it. Glenn says my friends spent a total of 11 hours in the car going to Perryville and back. Yeah. Is that really worth it? I know people who took field trips to get closer. You know, I know somebody who went to Cape Girardeau. I know somebody who went to Johnson shut-ins.
That's great.
I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, kind of one of those once in a lifetime things.
Sure.
So I don't know.
It was probably worth it. And if they didn't mind taking the drive, when I was seeing it, and I just did it from my home, but the eclipse just reminded me, it was like a visual reminder of the awesomeness of God. I just thought it was great.
Well, we saw this video up in the sky yesterday. Joe's going to show you this, and you need to have, you know, some humor. You need to have a sense of humor. All right. But I absolutely love this. And this is driving liberals crazy. Joe, play.
I saw that. I even put it on my Facebook page. That's exactly what I saw when I looked up.
I saw that a couple times yesterday. MAGA, this is great. You gotta love it. There you go, everybody. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I saw it. When I looked up, that's exactly what I saw.
I saw Trump's hair coming through there.
I did too.
I was like, there is hope. There is hope for this country.
That's
which
right.
means if America is good, the world will be good.
Yes.
Donald Trump taking care of business. That was well done. Whoever edited that was terrific. You know you loved it, Joe, right? That was cool. It was awesome. Awesome USA. Thumbs up.
I'm not a liberal, however. I'm shaking my head on that one.
Why?
I mean, come on.
That's because he didn't have his glasses on. If he had wore his glasses yesterday and looked up and he saw that, he would understand the hype you and I are feeling today.
Yeah.
For some reason.
I should have had glasses.
That's right.
From the chat line, Biddy told us, I believe it was yesterday, that she couldn't talk to her neighbor ever. Her neighbor actually came out during the last eclipse. So she didn't come out yesterday. I don't know.
Yeah, I know somebody.
Jay saw Pac-Man. Yeah, I think we all saw Pac-Man.
Yeah.
For a while.
For sure.
Pam says that was my thought of the story of covering up God's light with a bushel. And the eclipse did not completely cover the light behind it. Great thought, Lizzie.
That is so great.
I've seen many Trump signs, even the antique ones with the old mic. Good morning to everybody. We're glad you're jumping in on a Tuesday, April 9th, the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. We're getting things rocking and rolling here. Appreciate you guys are with us Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central all the time on our website, canceltheshow.com. We had to have some fun with that. So
yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad you played the truth of what was really in the sky.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was perfect.
And I'm told you'll be able to see all kinds of things in the sky Trump related very soon.
Yes, that's what I've heard too.
All kinds of things with Donald Trump. Guys, there's another big story. And we'll jump into it. We'll save the other funner stuff, more fun stuff for later, but we get right into it. I found this to be pretty interesting. The Pope yesterday and the Vatican put out a report about how they are 100%. And thank God they did this, because you never know who's writing what letters within the Vatican. They declared that gender-affirming surgery yesterday and any surrogacy of it to be grave violations of the human dignity. That was in a new document, was endorsed by Pope Francis. Thank you for putting that out. Of course, the White House then jumped out really fast and they attacked the Pope. Oh, when the Pope leaves it open for, blessing people, and they're like, oh no, he's for gay marriage, and he never was. And the church has never been. They just said you bless them. It means you show them love. But of course, the media took that and, the Pope wants gay marriage. No, he didn't ever say that. The Vatican didn't ever say that. But at least they came out very specific on this changing genders. And the White House lost their freaking minds. KJP said that Biden is all about gender, transgender, it's over and over and over. They made it clear they're for any sort of changing your sex, even for kids. So once again, if you're for kids changing their sex, you want to vote Democrat. And you look yourself in the mirror and you do that. But the 20-page Infinite Dignity report, it was powerful. It basically said that the document reaffirms the church's long-held opposition to abortion and euthanasia. It also repeated its rejection of any gender theory or the idea that one's gender can be changed. God created man and woman as biologically different, separate beings, and said people must not tinker with that plan or try to make oneself God. It also acknowledged the possibility of surgery to resolve genital abnormalities, but stressed that such a medical procedure would not equate to a sex change in the sense intended here. So there you go. But you don't see the national media covering that, because you know what they try to do. They only try to take a gray area, blow it out of proportion, and make it something that it's not. And if there was ever a time in 2024 that we need some more reporting from places or people of any kind of holiness, we need to get that word out. So thank God that we got a little bit of direction from that standpoint, because we know, Trish says, I love it when the White House loses their mind. And they did. They immediately came out yesterday attacking the report, going after, saying that people should be allowed to have sex changes, and as if this is like what's really pressing in America. I'm grateful that we get something from this standpoint to go. Curious from your opinions on this standpoint. Do you think it helps? Do you think it pushes the envelope any further to see that the White House is pushing this even forward more so?
They're making it so obvious, regardless of what the Pope says or not. They are just doubling down on the fact of this gender, I call it dysphoria, and they're pushing farther back. And when you hear, the president talking, maybe 15 years ago, that was not his stance at all. So the progressive got to him, and so that he can be elected, he went so far left, well, to be selected, I should say. So they're doubling down on something he didn't even believe in 15 years ago.
Well, here, the White House came out, and it was interesting, but they said, it I don't know what they try to do. She declined to say what Biden thought about the document specifically, but then they tried to change things around. She did say he supports the transgender community.
Right.
So, and supporting the transgender community is far different. And listen to the words people use and what they write. Then, because you can support somebody who's transgender.
Correct.
That doesn't mean you agree with them trying to force that on somebody else.
Correct.
Or try to make it legal for kids. But that's where they make the things gray. They want you to get caught up in the minutia. Oh, but he supports. You know what? Guess what? Donald Trump supports the transgender community too. But let's break down what it means to support. Once again, loving people and calling out the sin. They're two completely different things that we've talked about.
That's right.
You don't get caught up in all of the things. So anyway, the president, quote, will continue to be an advocate for the rights, safety, and dignity of the LGBTQ plus community, including transgender people here in the U.S. But once again, when you're talking about transgender, even in the LGBTQ, the B is for bisexual, which means man and woman, right?
That's the things that confuses me too, is because
am I losing my mind
here? If they say bi, correct me if I'm wrong, bi means two. But that same community, not everybody, but a lot of people in that community say that there can be three sexes and numerous pronouns and this and that, but bi means two.
Yeah. And to think that we have a Supreme Court justice who isn't able to define a woman. That happened as well. She's the most uneducated one of them.
Yeah, she is.
Tanji.
And she knows what she just didn't want to say it.
Of course.
She knew. She just wasn't going to come out and say, because she knew that the progressive left would eat her.
Yeah, no, and that's what they do. So anyway, just wanted to make sure that we got that pushed out here. But this goes into another story too. This, I don't know what the hell she was doing. Now, I know she's trying to make a name for herself, and we're going to give her some publicity here, but not for the right reasons necessarily. There is a woman, and Joe, you can get this ready, in the state of Missouri running for Secretary of State, claiming to be a conservative and a hardcore Republican, ripping what the Vatican put out yesterday. She is a woman who I have been told is being advised by Eric Greitens. And she's
know that.
And she's got, did it not go through the picture? Oh, okay. I thought the picture went through. I'll check again to show you this. Yeah. So I think.
No.
Well, and that was interesting because the lady that you're getting ready to talk about, I didn't understand she thought any of that, to be honest. It's not somebody I would necessarily vote for, but I think that there's people that have told me about her that they're like, she's great because she is the most conservative one on the ticket. And what I see,
hardly.
I see she's kind of an oxymoron that you don't know what she thinks.
Oh, wait, I think I got it.
No, I know I sent it to you.
Yeah.
You got it. Okay.
So anyway, this woman, her name is Valentina Gomez. This is interesting because the Missouri Senate Conservative Republican Party, the Senate caucus, they called her out. And I'm sorry, I'm calling you out too. I mean, this is concerning. This is not somebody who is somebody you want to vote for in the state of Missouri, if this is what they're saying, unless they come back out and say, I'm sorry, I screwed up. I was an idiot. That's not who I am. Somebody hacked into my account. The issue, she rubbed me the wrong. I mean, I'll start with this. The Missouri Senate says, wow, we guess Valentina is not Catholic, ? Exclamation point, ? We support freedom of religion and agree with the Vatican that the transgender surgeries are grave threats to human dignity. We wholeheartedly disagree with Valentina's stance. And the reason is because she put out on Twitter, the Vatican is satanic. They shouldn't have power whatsoever. A bunch of pedophiles. Well, first of all, that's an immature comment by Valentina.
Correct.
And while there are issues in every faith and people that have been proven to have issues in every single faith, you can't make blanket statements like that. That shows her inexperience and her inability. This will not be the correct election for her to run in. And not only that, she's the one that tried to make attention on herself, shooting up guns and look at me, and it's like, come on, let's talk politics and like show your guns and things of that nature. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just for her to come out and go against when you have the Vatican, the Pope, on such an important issue, actually calling it out.
Right.
And you're going to say you don't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
She is telling us she's for sex transgender surgery by saying that.
Well, and I don't disagree. I don't think that's what she meant by that, because she was trying to appeal. She's in this small little group, like you said, of the shooting the guns up and trying to do antics instead of legislate. She was trying to appeal to, I would consider, the far right evangelical that isn't Catholic. And she felt that was great by calling them all pedophiles. She contradicted herself.
I think you're doing her justice.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. Because would you vote for that?
No, I would not vote for that.
Hell no, I wouldn't vote for that.
I wouldn't vote for her because I think she contradicts herself.
It makes me think that she's young and inexperienced.
Probably.
And doesn't know what the hell she's doing, kind of like AOC.
Yeah.
Except on you can't call yourself a conservative and then use a comment there and rip when it's calling out sex trans. I mean, this is transgender for kids. And she chooses that to rip the Vatican. She knew better. I think she's for it. And
do you really?
Yeah.
And see, and I took it the other way. I still felt like it was immature. I felt like she didn't even read the comment at all.
You put yourself out there.
Yeah, well, she put herself out there by saying that, for sure.
The Vatican for what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And she doesn't understand the faith. And if she did, she wouldn't have said that in the first place. But that's that group of people that divide people they don't agree with. So she doesn't like Catholics, so she's going to annihilate everybody that's Catholic. Well, she may call herself Catholic and not like what's going on there, but the problem is, and we don't know, but the problem that you have in that situation, and this is why I thought it was interesting with that whole story, be careful who you vote for. Just know the candidates that you're voting for and know who they are. Maybe that's what you guys want. Just know, whether it's in Missouri, California, Florida, Texas, you name it, Pennsylvania, just know who you're voting for and what they're dealing with and what they're trying to push out there. Just not a good look for a Republican to be doing that.
Yeah, that didn't look very good.
Not on an important subject matter of that. But God, we got to count our victories and celebrate those victories that when we actually have people and attention and media. So I'm like, Eric, if it's true that you're leading her or helping her, great. My gosh, you got to stop that, man.
Yeah. Well, we probably should have him on soon and ask him that question because he said he wants to come on. I just need to reach out to him and we should have him on and ask him, are you really supporting her and why?
That
is a little disconcerting if he is supporting her. Now, maybe he just said, oh, I support you, girl. And he doesn't, and he's not really on her campaign. I don't know because I didn't know that he was on that.
That's not what I've heard.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's a little disconcerting.
It was for me as well. This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house, getting things going on a Tuesday, April 9th, the fastest 2 hours in podcasting, getting things rocking and rolling here as we do. Okay. We've got another situation that came out yesterday that became big. And this one, I don't know how this is going to appeal. I know the Biden administration is going to do everything they possibly can to get fringe voters to try to vote for him. We get word this morning that interest rates are going to drop right before the election now.
That's right.
To try to put a little bit of extra cash in people's pockets. Will that make people go over? Are Americans that dumb? Maybe. Maybe they are. Also, now we have the White House coming out yesterday. Listen to what Kamala said when it comes to debt and debt forgiveness for people. She's going to break this down for you so you understand what's happening with canceling student debt. And of course, they're doing this as we're trying to lead into an election to try to get votes. That is the only reason why.
Your loans will be completely forgiven, regardless of your income and even if you did not graduate. So I'm going to repeat that. If you've paid undergraduate loans for more than 20 years or graduate loans for more than 25 years, those loans will be completely forgiven regardless of your income and even if you did not graduate. And forgiveness will be automatic for the vast majority of the 25 million people that we believe will benefit from this approach. Your loans will be
25 million people would benefit. So there you go.
Wow.
If you've had student loans for over 20 years, whether you graduated or not, poof, gone just like that. Debt's gone just like that. Let's write it off.
And there's no product at the end. That is ridiculous. I'm not saying I'm for this at all, but I'm really not for if you don't even have the degree and they're going to pay it off. You don't have the product in which the government is going to pay it off. That's just crazy.
And if you're a graduate, if these were graduate student loans, 25 years, didn't even have to graduate, you owe nothing.
Well, damn, I paid off all my student loans. I should have just waited around and not paid them all this time.
Exactly.
Damn it. I'm going to tell my kids, hey, I'm not going to help you pay for college. Just let the government pay for it then.
All this does
is
tell you not to go pay them.
That's what it tells you, not to pay him. It literally does tell you not to pay him. But here's the deal. Biden said this the last time too, and then he didn't really produce all the stuff he promised on the student loan thing. So Vic, what do you think? Do you think they're just saying it again, that little old Cami, whatever her name is saying that with absolutely no way of doing that? They're just saying they're going to do it.
No, they're doing it.
A master's degree, and then I'm just not going to pay for it.
Megan says, this is concerning from the fact that she's not giggling or cackling. That it is.
That's serious. A really, you know what? I never thought about that. That's a good point. You're right. When she lies, she's cackling. Any sort
of canceling debt for students, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
There's no way to justify it. And really I'm sorry, there is no way to justify it. My kids have student debt right now.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there's no way to justify canceling the student debt.
No, there's absolutely no way. I mean, they already have it in some areas. Like if you're a teacher and you work in school districts, you get it paid off after 10 years. If you work in some sort of criminal justice, if you're working for the government or a city, you get it paid off in 10 years. Those I can kind of see. I'm still not saying it's right, but I can kind of see that. But just giving anyone that doesn't even finish their degree and doesn't put the service back to your country, I don't get it. And there's many people on our chat line that they were in the service and they did put their at least 4 years in. I get that. You work for our country, then okay, then they can get their student loan paid or they can get their college paid. But just some, Joe Blow that's sitting on their front porch, literally taking basket weaving or, political science for Democrats, and we're paying for that. That is ridiculous.
How about to the people who've paid off their loans? And we've talked about this before.
Right.
It's the same sort of situation led by Democrats, led by Joe Biden, led by the worst administration this country has ever seen. But it's the same concept of, you know what? Illegals, come on in. We're going to make you legal without due process, even though so many others have done it the law and order and correct way that it should have been done. We're going to allow this because we want votes. And F all you other mother truckers who've done everything the right way.
That's right.
Who've been responsible, who have tried, who have worked hard, who have made the sacrifices to take care of all the situations. And of course, here you go again. We're going to upset you.
Yeah.
Maybe I could understand why somebody would want to vote for that. If you're in a situation, vote for a Joe Biden. But you've got to think twice. There shouldn't be one person who ever consider themselves to be independent or Democrat who should want to vote for a Democrat who's going to support this. Not one.
Well, Susan on the chat line said she's always wanted to do basket weaving. And I said, now this is the time to do it. This is the time to go back and get your degree. But you know what? Make sure you don't have an R behind your name, because they will do everything in their realm of possibility that if they know that you voted for Donald Trump or looked at your voting record, they will make it doubly hard for you to get yours paid off. You watch, that's coming.
We love it when you guys jump in the live cast with your comments. We encourage those. We try to get as many of those as possible. You guys talking to us, talking with others, and vice versa. Roland says they're classic commie tactics. Pam says Michigan was going to pay off student loans for law enforcement people too. And my son said, great. And it never happened.
See, that's exactly right.
Campaign promises.
Yep. They lie. They lie.
Blatantly trying to buy votes. I don't know what's going on from that standpoint, but that's what they're trying to do. Buying the votes. Be smart. Don't get caught up in all of the crap that's out there, because this is what they're trying to do. Roland says, heck, I'll go back and finish then. Yep. Why not?
Go back.
If you're going to get something for free, why would you not do that?
Mm-hmm.
I get angered angered when I do see these stories of paying off the debt, because if you're going to pay off student loan debt, then why should somebody else have their debt paid off?
That's
Or
right.
whatever.
Why can't you have? I mean, how do you look at your kids that you've told your kids all this time, bust your butt, get good grades, get an athletic scholarship, mom and dad will kind of help you where you don't cover all that, and we all busted our butts, and then they see their friend getting it for free. I mean, it's just like, how do you justify that even to your kid?
But there's political leaders who are saying this is good.
Oh, I know they
and
are.
they're DEI related, and they're liberal Democrats.
Of course they are. Of course they are.
And then, of course, nobody ever wants to talk about, well, how are you going to do this?
Mhm.
It sounds so nice. Yeah, we're going to pay your bills. This isn't Oprah on her own show.
No, they're paying it with your money, Vic, Projo's, all of our listeners' money. Our taxes are going to go up. And people that are saying, oh my goodness, now you're not going to have to pay income tax or whatever. They're going to tax us like never before.
From the chat line, Terry says, I was getting a pedicure the other day, and some of the Asian girls there were talking about having bright their parent, or having bright their patents. Maybe say having their parents staying in the best nursing homes for free. I was like, no way. And 3 of them said they had their patents here.
Their parents here. What I'm guessing
blew me away.
The parents are here for free. Like, okay, you've got my mom that worked all these years with my dad and so on, and she pays so much money to stay at an assisted living, and she's not wrong. I've heard so many people that if you're foreign, you get to stay in the nicer nursing homes or the nicer assisted living, and we're paying for it. Our government is paying for that. They're not even trying to hide it. To go, just like what Terry did, go talk to someone that they're here just on a work visa and find out how much they're getting for free and we have to pay for it. A lot of them are getting their elderly parents brought over here for free. But you know what that is? Again, I think our listeners know it's bringing these people over, giving them free stuff for their votes. And then all of us, we have to work 2 and 3 jobs to pay our bills, while people can just come from a foreign country and get whatever they want for free, even elder care.
Forgiveness of a debt is a taxable event. That coming from Robert, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Greg says, how to raise taxes, raise pay, keep food, interest, etc. All the above. We do abundantly, or we do absolutely nothing for our homeless, but give illegals everything. That coming from Jay, 100% correct. Megan says, the lie is that Biden got in 3.5 years ago insisted he is giving everyone except for U.S. citizens all of the freebies. He's giving it all to illegals.
It is so sad. There's people on our chat line right now getting so frustrated by what we're saying because they've got parents right now in memory care, assisted living, nursing homes, paying $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a month. And Terry is not wrong. Go find someone. Go somewhere where that people are here on work visas and see if they can tell you how they're paying for all of this stuff.
$9,000 a month for
memory care. So if you have Alzheimer's or dementia, you're at $9,000 a month. My mom is on it. She pays $5,200 a month. And she doesn't need any of this special care. She's just there in an assisted living. And I keep trying to talk her into, Mom, come and live with me. We can get you a home health care nurse. Instead of she's staying in these things. And my mom doesn't get any breaks for any of this stuff. My parents worked their whole life for their money to go out the window at these subpar care places.
Greg says yesterday they said that petrol prices are going up. They may continue to go up and then all of a sudden
They're
down.
going to drop
They'll drop right before the election. We know how that works. We've seen it several times. Those are the types of things that happen around this country. Are people going to feel like they're in a better situation? Are they going to feel like all of the crime, all of the illegals coming into the country are something that they can deal with? Do they really feel like this is a good thing that's going on? Like this California sheriff. We all know the problems, the crime. I mean, California has been decimated, as beautiful as a place as it is. And there are a lot, and I mean a lot of great people in California who are doing their best to try to get the word out. But they are overwhelmed with the amount of registered Democrats there. People who I've been told are worried. They just want to keep their head down and quiet in California. My conservative friend who lives out in the LA area told me that people are not all that stupid there. Literally, he just said they're afraid of upsetting everybody. It's like, oh, let's just go on our way. Let's go to the beach. We don't want to say anything. And he's like, they know it. They know it. He's like, now every now and then you find somebody who's delusioned, but the crime and the things that are happening in California are starting to happen everywhere. Listen to the sheriff call out what happened when it comes to people who are trying to pass laws, which is why you need to be very educated on what you're doing. Check it out. Here you go. Listen to what the sheriff had to say about what happened in California and why they're dealing with what they're dealing with there right now.
California, we're in a very trying time right now when it comes to public safety. And for the most part, from a law enforcement perspective, we can say that we can attribute the majority of our issues that we are having, or at least there's some type of a correlation to them, to the passage of Prop 47 in 2012. And that was a proposition on the ballot for voters that, quite frankly, we were lied to and misled by our state, in that the name and the description on the ballot was not something that we were getting. We voted for a proposition it was Prop 47 was named the Safe Schools and Safe Streets Initiative. And it absolutely contained absolutely nothing to do with safe streets or safe schools. And it was everything that is bad about public safety right now. Directly contributed to the increase in homelessness, mental health, and drug addiction. It directly resulted in what we see now in our serial theft cases, in our retail theft cases, and issues in crime of residential burglaries and those types of things. And it has been another initiative in 2022 that we tried to get put on the ballot to repeal Prop 47. And again, the state lied to voters in the description of the proposition and the name of the proposition, and it was voted down by voters, even though when you talk about Prop 47 to residents in California, the majority of them all know that Prop 47 was bad and it needs to be fixed. But we were misled again. So this current initiative that we have will be a ballot measure for another proposition to repeal, not to repeal all of Prop 47, but to fix the three largest aspects, I guess you will, that law enforcement is concerned with, that is causing our issues of homelessness, of drug use and fentanyl deaths, and retail theft.
Okay, that makes you feel pretty good. This is what's happening. You have to care enough to jump in. This is another reason why California is dealing with what they're dealing with, and it's coming to a state near you. Tanya says the Supreme Court justices says that can't happen, but the things, as we know, they're happening. This crime is happening.
Yes,
things are being pushed all over the country. Jay says same tactic used by the government with the Inflation Reduction Act. Sorry, not doing something that's for the betterment of yourself, family, and community because you, quote, don't want to upset people is the definition of stupidity.
Really?
But it's because people think that, oh, well, we want to be good people, pulling our heartstrings. I mean, let's do whatever they say. Of course, we trust the government. They're not going to put anything in there that's going to hurt us, right?
Right.
No, that's not going to happen, right? Well, you see what's happening. And I feel bad for the people in California, like my family.
Yeah.
Who lives north of San Diego and what they're trying to deal with. And like I said, there are conservatives who are fighting, doing everything they possibly can in that state. But
but you're right. The crime and what that sheriff said, we should all take heed to that, because it is happening everywhere with these illegals coming over. And there's this whole shift on how the left thinks about crime and their bleeding hearts. And they don't understand that if you invite someone that's illegal or homeless into your home or into your area and you don't have a plan, you're going to have so much crime. I mean, it's happening in our town. I sent you guys something yesterday that a church is harboring a bunch of homeless people. Some might be illegal, but they have no plan on what to do with them. So they're out there and the police have their hands full with well-meaning Democrats that want to help these people with no plan. And it's happening all over the country.
Yeah, there's no plan.
There's no plan.
There is no plan of things that are going on. So what we want to show you those videos and show you what's happening. It's going to take more and more sheriffs being willing to stand up and say things. Obviously, he's in a conservative area. But I'm telling you right now, there are several sheriffs who are worried about job security who won't bring up or say anything. Or like the police, the police chief in St. Louis City, you can't say anything because Tashar will give you lashes. Tashar being the St. Louis City mayor. By the way, Joe Biden was in St. Louis.
I heard you were there. I heard you went there.
I had a seat at the table.
Yeah, I heard you were right up front, and you were like just glad handing Dr. Biden.
They
were
wanted
so
me there.
excited. They did.
I don't know if I could call.
Could you really stay
doctor.
in the same room?
She's not a medical doctor.
She calls herself a doctor.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Biden.
That not to go against somebody's doctorate, whatever it is, but she's not a medical doctor.
No, she isn't.
And we'll just leave it right there. Yeah, it came to St. Louis of all places for a fundraising event.
And you know how many people were there?
How many? I don't.
30. 30 people.
Well,
if they're big donors, you don't need any more than that.
multi-millionaires.
Yeah, then you don't need any more
and
than
each
that.
one gave $1 million and they raised 30 million.
There you go.
Then that would make sense. But that's not happening. That did not happen. But of course, Tashara Jones there to meet her and took care of her. And she's a proctologist.
She definitely is.
She has her PhD in education. Yes, you are correct, Donna. And so she came into St. Louis. Tashara Jones, St. Louis City mayor, welcomed her, took care of her. And then by the end of the night, she had already left St. Louis because we know a lot of people aren't trying to stay overnight in St. Louis right now.
Not right now.
But she came in and got that done. So anyway, this is canceltheshow.com. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Like, subscribe, share the show. Let people know. Send it out. Like it. We do our live show on X, on Rumble, on YouTube, on Facebook, CloudHub. And then, of course, when the show ends, it goes to our audio platform, several audio platforms as well. Chris says, after watching the California sheriff rip what's happening in California, Gavin Newsom and all the other liberal politicians that lied about passing bills, and people just, they didn't do their homework. They didn't study what was in the bill before voting for it. Says, yet sheriffs like this guy was willing to goose step for the government when their superiors tell them to enforce unconstitutional orders, not laws. Yeah, you see that. You do see it. It happens. Tanya says, though the political Democratic Party wants to take away our American healthcare rights and they want to control us. Yeah, that's another great point. These things are happening all across America. Like we said, there's about 20 to 40 different things that we could talk about on a daily basis. That's happening. I mean, then you take the and we'll get into it a little bit later in the week too, the Israel Hamas story. I mean, America is now backtracking. They released a 6-step process for ceasefire. I mean, literally saying, yeah, we're against you because guess why? Because there's an election coming up.
That's right.
And yet you're going to back people who are saying death to America all over the country.
And there's and those same people are disrupting our college campuses and our highways and our events. You can't make this stuff up.
Nope, you can't. And that's why people need to get very serious about what's actually happening. Sheriffs need to stand up. Police need to stand up, but people are worried about losing jobs. But we see crime. We see these things happening all over the country. I mean, you sent me a video yesterday we'll show now. I mean, thank God we have video to show stuff that's happening. I mean, this from Queens in New York. I mean, I know this has happened forever, and it's sad that we don't want to normalize this, but these are the kind of things that are happening. Check out this woman and what happens to her in Queens, of all places.
She's going to church,
yeah,
Vic.
Look at
She's
this.
actually going to church
on a Sunday. Watch what happens.
She's elderly too, going to church by herself. And look at this. And then steals her purse. I mean, look at her. While she's laying there.
For our listeners on the podcast.
He's going through it. And now he's trying to go through her pockets.
A woman was and we'll show it again, and then he takes off. Thank God there is video. But you see him come up, and all you could see kind of was his face. You see kind of a darker face, and he's in all black. She got up to the top of like 4 high steps, and he pushed her down. She literally hit the ground.
Hit the back of her head.
Hits the ground first. She's laying flat on her back. He takes her purse, goes through all of her pockets, and then he runs off and leaves her in front of the church as
That's
she's trying
so
to go up
sad.
and go for.
That just shows he has no moral soul at all, that she's laying there. I don't know if she's dead or if she's sick or she's just, I don't know. Look at her going through her pockets while she lays there.
You continue to have mayors like Eric Adams and Tashara Jones in St. Louis and others in Chicago. Crime's down. No, it's not. They came up with this new way and to report crime, and it's not really reporting crime.
Mm-hmm.
It's not honest reporting,
No.
and crime is bad. And it's not only that, it's what's actually happening. I mean, the video, the disregard for life, do whatever it takes. Megan says again, more mentally ill people, and it's not a hall pass to do whatever the heck you want to do. Of course, it's not mentally ill, but also why are you mentally ill?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also called mentally evil.
Mentally evil. Yes.
And there are just people who are flat out evil. You can call it mentally ill. I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt with that. I'm going to call the man that we just saw mentally evil.
I agree, because there is absolutely pure evil in somebody that can push down a grandma, and while she lays there, go through her pockets, go through her purse while she lays there.
And this is what's happening is Mr. Peterbaugh says, crime's down. Yeah, change the definition and lose the paperwork. That's happening. It happens where we broadcast out of. And the evidence is there. It's how they're reporting it or not reporting it. Crime is not going down. And if it has, let's talk about the specifics. Is it just violent crime? Is it murders? Because we just see these kinds of things happening. And just wait till you add all the illegals who are coming in. And once they start to assimilate in their communities, and all the free stuff that they've been given goes away, because it's not going to be able to last.
Mm-hmm. And crime is going
They're going
to
get them through the election and then watch what happens.
That's right. And crime is only going down because now they're not required to report all of it. So some of the big major cities are just not reporting it so they can make it look like it went down.
Once again, which is why you have to have your Second Amendment right to bear arms. You just do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in that situation, you have to have your head on a swivel, but this poor lady didn't even know, because this guy intentionally sought to take the money from her to hurt her, because he saw her coming. He jumped up the stairs. She didn't see it, and then came right back down.
That's right. She had no way to defend herself there. No way to do it at all. And you wouldn't think a little old grandma's not going to think I'm going to go see Jesus, and that you think you're going to get your head knocked off.
Also from Megan, the Soros social justice movement wants to excuse these people because they don't know any better. Like you said, Vic, it's just evil. And yeah, it is. And that's why we're going to call it out. We're going to show you these things. And the more times that we show videos like this, the better. We don't want to see it, but if it happens, it needs to be shown.
That's right.
Over and over again. And you can't worry about, I don't want to see that. That's so bad. I want to stay in my happy bubble.
And I want to stay in my happy bubble too. But you can't.
Look at it.
You have to look at it. You have to. You have to look at it. Even the poor girl that got her head banged in there, I watched it several times and it made me sick every time, but you have to see it. So you have to understand the gravity of what we're going through and do something about it. We can't just be armchair Republicans or armchair conservatives or Americans or whatever you want to call yourself.
I haven't heard of the condition of the woman that was pushed down the stairs that we just
I haven't
saw.
either.
So if you saw anything from that or anybody else, please let us know so that we can do what we can. Les says the police are putting Lego faces on the perps in California. Well, this gets back to the situation I told you about when it comes to local news. They don't want to show faces.
No, they don't.
They say it's mean. I mean, literally, I was told, and we were told as news anchors, you can't show faces. You can't give a description. This is a black man. This is a white man. This is well, it wouldn't be nice to them. I mean, that literally, I'm not making that up. We've got to be more respectful of our community. It tends to be racist if you're showing pictures, and most of them are black men. I mean, literally, that I had a producer tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like behaviors going down in schools because principals don't intervene, or it has to go to state records if it's written up.
Right. And the principals
and they don't want that on their records.
That's right. They don't want their school to be the one with all the misbehaving, endeavors that going on. And they're also so afraid of getting sued. They're afraid of getting sued all the time.
From the chat line, that was clearly a BLM person. Remember when you see these people and what they're doing. Chris says the woman that we showed was listed in critical condition earlier this morning after taking probably a 4 to 5 foot pushback fall, hitting concrete on the back of her head first, when all she's trying to do is go celebrate Jesus.
Yeah.
In church. Horrible. And to your point, Vic, yes, this needs to be shown. Our mainstream media will never show it because they say, well, I can't tell you. And it drove me crazy. We had this little older woman who decided, and let's just tell you, she lived in Webster Groves in the St. Louis, and she decided what video would be shown or not.
And so who was she?
She had a title of like a executive producer.
Okay. And so she's the one that would tell you.
She's like, well, and she even tended to lean more conservative, but she's like, well, we can't upset people. We need to make sure. And she talked like that. We need to make sure we can't show that. We'll have people breathing down our throats.
Oh my gosh.
Like we would not be allowed to show that video that we just showed there. Yeah. So you're right. Mainstream media won't show it. They just won't. That's attempted murder. I agree. From the chat line, it should be attempted murder. And if and when they find the guy or the person, and hopefully they're able to do something with that with area cameras, maybe they can find him and go and serve justice as the justice should be served. But right now, that's not happening. And of course, we hate what we're seeing all across this country right now. Another one of those situations and you see people get pissed off about everything that's happening. It's an election year, and we had Attorney General from Missouri, Andrew Bailey, on with us, last week, talking about and trying to battle the Biden administration when it comes to protecting your free speech on these platforms, on all the places that we're on. We talk about it, having your free speech it's an election year. X has been a great platform too for us, and we're grateful for it. Did you see what's happening in Brazil? Elon Musk has refused to eliminate the accounts of far-right conservatives. They call them far right, but far right may even just be normal.
Yeah. Yeah. In Brazil,
this is how bad Brazil. They're trying to sue and go after and change the platform that Elon has, because he's like, no, this is about free speech. This goes to show you what's happened in Brazil. And if you don't think Brazil is turning into, they may be turning into it faster than America. But Elon and his entire platform now is facing backlash because they're absolutely refusing to go after these right-wing people. Right-wing trying to get the word out about what's happening in their country. Literally, Elon Musk says, no, I will not obey a court order in Brazil to restrict some accounts. He's like, can a government use the courts to silence the opposition by banning dissenting voices on social media? Can a company state it will not obey a court order to protect freedom of speech? These are questions now. In the United States, disobeying a court order would mean prison time, whether you're a billionaire or not. But if the United States does not stand for the people of Brazil, who will? These are several complex issues that are going on right now. And of course, and we love our X platform, and people are able to get on the X platform and talk about these things. But it also goes to show you what is happening. Brazil literally, and it's a public case. I mean, this is public. Brazil is putting it out there. They're not trying to hide it like American government. They're literally saying, eliminate these people or else.
That's ridiculous.
Eliminate these people or else.
When we're getting close to that, we're not that far behind.
So they're opening an investigation into Elon Musk, and they say that he is obstructing justice because he reactivated those accounts. And that's what the specific situation. And you've even got a Supreme Court justice who heads the country's superior electoral court to resign or be impeached. That was a statement from X alleged to the orders to remove the accounts of the Brazilian constitution. I get scared. Thank God Elon is doing what he's doing. I know there's people who question Elon, but he is trying. I mean, he is trying. I mean, I remember when we first started the show, we couldn't even think about being on X.
Oh, couldn't even think about it. No, couldn't even think about it.
And now it's a massive performer for us on the show because Elon has done what he has done. Not sure what Glenn means. FBI. Oh, yeah. The FBI did do it to U.S. citizens during the last election. And you already know it during the election and when it came to the cupcake and everything with the pandemic.
That's
you
right.
already know these things happened. What did you mean by very complex issues, Lizzie?
I was just repeating what you were saying, that all the things that in Brazil, there's very complex issues there that over here in America, we think it will never happen to us. And over there in
And
Brazil,
it already did.
And it already did. And it's doing it. But, you know, Vic, some people still don't think our government is that corrupt. They just think we're still not
We already
China.
have proof of it.
We do.
The FBI did it. We have proof.
Yes.
We won. Andrew Bailey has won court cases against the Biden administration.
You're right.
The lawsuits that we've talked about it so many times. This has happened.
Yes.
The other crime issue, we're talking about the Elon, but what we were talking about before that was the crime situation. Chris brings up a great point, and this is true. Cities like St. Louis, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, DC, Baltimore, New York, they're not required to submit crime stats to the FBI database due to a policy change from the Biden administration. This is what I was referring to earlier. Crime is not reported like it used to be reported. They are lying. They are sifting through and only giving you certain issues.
Aren't
certain
those
things.
the sanctuary cities?
Those are all sanctuary cities.
Right. I wonder why
That's how they can say that violent crimes are down when in fact they're up in places as much as 15 to 20%. And this is why I've been on Tashara Jones, because of the safety issue. She is the mayor in St. Louis. We're grateful to accept this government grant to help fight crime, even though our violent crime is down 40%. She's lying. She is flat out lying because she's trying to save face, because she wants to stay in power, have power and control. He, they, she, them is more of an importance than safety. Transgender on Easter, sending out pictures of her and transgenders on Easter, more important than the city's safety. People tell you who they are.
They
People
do
show you who they are. Don't try to find a way to make excuses for people. They show you who they are, whether good, bad, indifferent, whatever the case. Pam says, let's check the FBI's home crime base. Yeah. Thank God for Andrew Bailey and Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt started it. Andrew Bailey there. Megan says, yeah, crime's down as much as inflation. I think I get that.
Right. Sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We just want to bring these things to light, not trying to focus on negative. It would be awesome to talk about rainbows and cookies and lemonade poolside, but that's not the situation we have in the country right now.
Sure
Maybe
isn't.
we can get more to there after the 2024 election if Donald Trump is in office, and we can kind of go back to some of what we had from 2016 to 2020, but we don't have that right now. And we're trying to fight through all these situations. And I say thank God again to Elon Musk for refusing to bow down to Brazil, which has become a communist country, because they saw what's happening. And maybe it's a laboratory, so to speak, where they're testing what they can get away with. How far can we push X to make sure that you can't put your platforms out there? Because if you can't control your messages to others and put information out there, they know, the left knows, the liberal elite left, the globalists know that social media is a massive platform for people to get information out, to communicate, to get, look at it from a business standpoint. The marketing on social media has become number one. People are on social media everywhere. So now we're trying to control the messaging on TV, but we can't do that anymore. Nobody's watching local news anymore.
Right.
Even though the numbers are high from a national standpoint, when it comes to watching national shows, they're still not what they used to be.
Correct.
Because people are going to podcasts, people are going to social media, and that is becoming the place where people go. They know that. So now, we got to stop the First Amendment right on these places, on these platforms, because we can't have truth getting out. Too much truth is getting out. Too many shows are going out and giving information that we don't want to be told. Video is being showed that we don't want shown. This is why we bring these things up. This is the truth versus the negative drama, according to Tricia. Glenn says, just like the Obama administration told schools to stop reporting red flags. Don't report those to authorities, because that resulted in the Parkland school shooter.
Right. That's exactly right. There's so many things to American safety that they're told not to report anymore. Not to report the crime in your cities because it looks bad, not to report the crime in your schools, not to report the crime even in nursing homes. And now we know that they're lying to us. We know the crime is way worse, but they're just changing the statistics so that you don't even have to report all the crime anymore.
News on a lot of the places when it comes to local, national is become opinion. That, according to Jeannie, it's tougher to watch. And Annette says, listen, God gives me peace. And yes, we promote that all the time. That's why you need to have a relationship with God.
I totally agree with
I
her.
can't live without church. Exactly. Neither can I.
Me either.
That's your bread, your living bread. Yes, all this causes anxiety, but we need to trust God and live our lives. Yes, but you can't put your head in the sand either.
Well, and I agree with her and what she's saying. I'm very much like her. I have to have church. I have to have prayer. I want my kids to have it. But even though we're reporting all of this, I don't have anxiety over it at all because I think there's somebody bigger than us. Now, do I think something could happen to me? Could I be that grandma going up the stairs and some guy did that? Yes, but also no, because you have to keep your head on a swivel. You just have to be educated. You have to know what's going on, and you can still have God and understand what's going on. You have to do both because God gave you a brain, so you have to be aware of what's going on.
This is cancelthisshow.com. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. Shout out for WeQuip USA, one of our sponsors. Check them out. You can rent any items that you're looking to rent. You can also go on there and put your own items where you can rent at WeQuip USA. Paige and her crew also rent rooms. We were talking about that when she was on last week. And you can check out WeQuip USA. Who knows? Maybe you can even rent our cornhole game.
Yeah, I think she's got it. I think she's got it on there now.
And if anybody does, we're going to send that money straight to a charity of WeQuip USA's choice. So once again, check out WeQuip, WeQuipUSA.com. And of course, we're at Strategic Air Services. That's where we broadcast live out of the Chesterfield Valley throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area. Strategic Air Services. If you're looking for private aviation, private flights, there's no better place to go than Strategic Air Services. And it is window season, renewal by Anderson. If you're looking to get new windows, if you're looking to upgrade your home, look no further than Renewal by Anderson. We literally have links on our website. You go to our partners page, canceltheshow.com. You click on partners. You see it. You get free quotes. They'll come out to your house. They'll check it out. They'll quote it. They'll show you how your house can become energy saving when it comes to renewal. Also, from that standpoint, if you do something, guess what? A small percentage will come back to our show. It'll help us out. It's a win-win-win. It's good for you, it's good for us, and it's good for Renewal by Anderson. Check them out on our page, cancelthisshow.com, Renewal by Anderson's page. All right, we're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. You can check out all of our information on our website, cancelthisshow.com. We have merchandise as well. You can check out there. We also have a donation button that you can click as well. Okay. Also, when it comes to this show, we are 2 hours, the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. We love it when you guys jump in on the live cast. Tons of comments, as you know, throughout the day. We're on several platforms. You can catch us at canceltheshow.com. You can watch us on X, as we talk about. You can watch us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Cloud Hub. And of course, we go straight to the audio versions as soon as the show ends, probably 15, 20 minutes after the show. We also appreciate stories, ideas. If you know people who we can partner with from an advertising standpoint, let us know. Vic at canceltheshow.com, Lizzie at canceltheshow.com as well. One story that is frustrating. I saw this 2 days ago. We didn't want to get into it yesterday. We had a lot of things. We went long with the eclipse yesterday, and we know why. But we now have video of a U.S. Air Force, United States Air Force senior airman, the Lance Castle. He refused to get the cupcake. So he is being held. Now, I'm saying this correctly, aren't I?
You're saying it correctly.
I cannot believe what is happening. I've tried to find other information. I was assuming, Lizzie, certainly there's more to this story.
Well, Joe and I this morning, because things that I had sent to you, it's gone. And so you can find this story on X, but it's basically his commander. Excuse me, I don't know who his quote boss is, but found him insubordinate. So put him in basically a solitary confinement until he agreed to take the jab, and he refuses and refuses. And the video is the repercussions of him continuing to refuse to take it after he's been in, quote, like a solitary confinement.
But when was this?
It was within the last week.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that.
But if you go and you find it now, what's interesting is I sent Joe a picture. Most of how you find it now is written in Asian writing because the American platforms have all started to take this down.
Okay, because they don't want
Right
anything
there
to be shown.
That's
Now,
correct.
Okay, so we're going to play this video. Did this video because mine got canceled.
Yes, yours got canceled.
And that was on X, by the way.
Did this video have sound?
This video has sound as well. And the other one, but a lot of them don't have sound, or now they have it, and that you don't hear them saying to him, you're insubordinate. But this one does.
Well, I wanted to show this because, and I'm trying to set it up. He literally faced trumped up charges for refusing to take the cupcake.
Correct.
And he was labeled an insider threat. However, these people, was found guilty on all 5 UCMJ charges, sparking discussions about tyranny and individual rights. Now, this incident we're showing you took place at Camden Air Force Base with the hashtag Defy Tyrants. And it's starting to gain traction on social media. The case highlights the ongoing, I repeat, ongoing debate, and it's a debate that's going on right now, and this blows my mind, of how you handle these situations. Once again, this is real video as we'll show you right now.
Take your blanket off. Go full wet.
So who's going for the legs?
Are you choosing to be non-compliant?
You get one leg.
Are you choosing to be non-compliant? Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Let's go! Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Get on the fucking floor! Stop resisting! Where's the handcuff? I need a handcuff right now. Get his arm. I got it. Here, get the handcuff to the legs. I need a handcuff. I'm going for his left arm. Alright. Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Or you will get tagged! You will get tagged! Alright, right there.
Just wait.
I got left cuff on.
Stop resisting or you will get tagged!
Ankles on! Do you hear me? Do not move. Do not move.
You will get tased!
I got it. Put it behind his back. Alright. I got his other arm.
Dude, my shoulder hurts.
His right arm. It's probably buried under.
Give us your other arm!
I can't.
Stay down. Under his chest. Stay down.
Fuck, dude.
Stay down.
Go for it.
Stay down.
Where's black glove in this thing with your hand?
Dude, my left toe breaks. My pinky, left toe.
Alright.
Get the shots
Excuse me,
on.
breathe.
Little lock. Little double lock? Yeah, they do. Get them locked.
Stay down.
Alright, check it. Just try to squeeze it and see if it. Cool. Go double lock. Alright. We're gonna see it later.
Alright. We're gonna lift him up.
We're gonna lift you up to your knees.
Or do you want him to carry? You want us to carry him?
Carry him like
Carry.
Just like that.
Okay.
For the shoulder. For the shoulder. 1, 2, 3.
Bring him over in front of the captain. Medic! Medic! The extraction team can break it. He's bleeding from his face. Man. Roll over.
That is absolutely tragic. And people are often saying, your military will never turn against you. I don't know exactly what led up to that. I don't know exactly why he was put in solitary confinement. Everything that I found was because he just wouldn't take the jab. And the people in his platoon, or whatever you call it, all felt unsafe because he was the only one unvaccinated. I don't want to say the whole word.
Cupcaked.
Yes. So I just could not believe my eyes. And you can find this on X.
Well,
But
he's been labeled an insider threat.
yes.
So he was sentenced to 60 days confinement and then sent to a court-martial hearing.
Mhm.
That's where it is. But he actually had a sergeant who was stating that he feels like he's been he's been radicalized against the United States government. That's the excuse.
Mhm. Mhm.
That he's been radicalized. They said, quote, this man, Lance Castle, quote, has told other airmen that they are, quote, going to hell. And the supervisor from his previous work center believes that he may be an insider threat and that he has been potentially radicalized by an anti-U.S. government group in the wake of his refusal to take the cupcake.
See,
quote, here is quote, I believe Sergeant Castle exhibits almost every indicator of an insider threat and should not have access to any sensitive materials or areas until after these pending actions are resolved. And this all started because he refused to take the cupcake.
Mhm. And maybe he is some sort of a religious zealot. Maybe he is somebody that's very opinionated with things other people don't want to hear. But that does not make him go to, confinement or take something in his arm he doesn't want to take. And number one, I thought they reversed this anyway. I thought this wasn't even a rule in the military anymore.
General Mike Flynn came out because this video went viral yesterday. And you remember, I mean, he served as an advisor to former President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He called the footage outrageous. Just so you know that this is legitimate footage.
Yes.
General Mike Flynn felt moved enough to speak on this.
Mm-hmm.
He tweeted, quote, this is so outrageous. And I pray there is more to this. If there isn't more to this other than refusing to take a deadly cupcake, every single person from the top of the chain of command to those involved in this video, this disastrous action directed against a fellow airman must be held accountable. He doesn't stop there. The loss of trust in our armed forces is showing a weariness in the ranks, and the inability of our armed forces to accomplish their directed missions is unacceptable. Our military must be trained and prepared to fight and win our nation's wars. In years of running interrogation operations against the worst of our enemies, we never treated anyone like this in the U.S. Air Force senior airman, how he was treated. Totally unaccepted behavior from top to bottom. And then he included Senator Tommy Tuberville, Speaker Johnson, Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, Elon Musk, Jim Jordan, the Gateway Pundit, Epic Times, West Journalism, and Freedom Up to Us.
That is just awful. I cannot believe what those men were thinking, that it was okay to tackle somebody, lay them down, and then pull his sleeve up or whatever they did to actually put that in his arm. Who do they think they are? I mean, who do they think they are?
A lot of these issues become on pride issues. You won't listen to my command?
That's right.
Yes, you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then for military members who were forced to or got the cupcake, once again, they're in a bad situation.
They are, because they, people like, I didn't want to get it either, but I had to take it. So why shouldn't you have to take it? It's one of those things that people don't like, that they had to do something. That even during the pandemic, we saw that there was a lot of people that did not want to take it or wear the mask or this or that, but they got so angry at the ones that stood up for themselves. I almost think that's the same type of situation here.
Hey, I've got a question for you. Joe, did that have Chinese writing on it, the video?
No, but I don't know if the video did. However,
but you could show him the picture.
That picture
because the video that I sent, you said it was canceled. I don't know where your video came from.
I got mine off of X, but I got it from not the other source. Excuse me, I can't remember who the source was, but it was somebody that you would have recognized the source. This one, I got it from a source that was Asian, and then I sent a picture to Joe to show that almost all the places that you can see that now, that I was able to pull it down. And that's the frightening part is Chinese And look at the writing. So my biggest problem with this is probably bigger than we even said, is right now people in China are looking at us like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Well, I wanted to know when the video was from, and that's what I was trying to find, because I thought I assumed this video was from before, but it's just coming out now, is just
Right.
released. So that's what we're trying to find out. When
Right.
was it? And if anybody else knew, to let us know.
Correct, because it was just released. Yeah, most of the people are saying they saw it on Twitter. I saw it on Twitter as well, but a lot of them that then we went back to try to pull it up, it was gone.
I
And
just saw it yesterday when it was released.
yesterday, that's the first I saw it too, was yesterday. Some people said they saw it the day beforehand.
Well, he was charged
but
with all kinds of charges,
Mhm.
made up, jailed, abused. Eventually, he was found not guilty, by the way, on all accounts against him.
Of course. Of course.
But this was video that showed how our military was treated. So the
Yeah.
video was just released. It didn't happen.
Yeah, I was
recently.
thinking for some reason I was under the impression that this was during the actual pandemic.
And maybe it was. Maybe
But
it was.
this-
but this was just
because,
released.
well, here's the thing. Castle did respond, and he did say, listen, these events occurred in 2023. So I found
Mhm.
what Castle said on Twitter, the man who you see in the video being treated that way. He said, but this just happened in the last year.
Mhm. I thought it was
I mean-
after the pandemic.
Yeah, this just happened in 2023. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. It was 2023, 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this was
But
after
he said
it.
after the cupcake was
Mhm.
no longer forced on American troops.
Correct.
The shock video is what we're showing you, which has gone viral, to explain, if you see it, and to understand what had happened and why he was put into the situation that he was. Found not guilty on all accounts of everything that was said against him. Damn, I wish he could sue. And it's another situation which shows what's happening in our military, and we wonder why. Recruitment, it's all a plan. Recruitment is down. Let's go woke. Let's make America as defenseless as possible.
Mhm.
Let's get less strong people into the show. Into our military, to show that, you know what, we're not as strong as we used to be.
That's right.
It's just like the government. Joe Biden was placed in office for a reason, selected for a reason, so that everything could be torn apart that was done from 2016 to 2020, which is exactly why you see what's happening to a man in Donald Trump that we have never seen in the history of this country,
Mhm.
because there is a plan in place. And that man stands in between the plan, as he told us, to stop all of the work, which is why they will stop at nothing, which is why I get afraid of what's happening. And of course, now you see the attempts against him from a personal standpoint to keep him out of the election and running failed. Now you're trying to see, or you're seeing what's happening, taking away the Senate
Mhm.
and or the House, to try to make it as difficult as possible, if by chance there's so many supporters that they can't fix an election.
Well, you're going to start seeing so many illegals, Chinese, Middle Eastern, whatever, that are not even American citizens in our military. And they're not going to be the old badass way of defending our country. They're going to destroy our country from within, right from our military. So, it's tragic that we say this often on the show, that this whole globalization, the whole world order, is to weaken our country and make us sitting ducks for communism. That's what it's doing. And it's frightening. And you have to show these videos, because most people don't even know this is going on. And this is not in disrespect to our military, because we love our military here. We love our police, but we're calling a spade here right now. This is going on. And look at those young men. If that was one of my kids forcing someone to take that, I would be so ashamed of my son right now.
Yeah.
I'd be so
I mean,
ashamed
you
of
have
my
to follow
son.
orders.
I get that, but that's different. That is completely different. I do get following orders, and they should in the military. But when your body is forced to have something in it that has now been proven to be a problem, they've done that since people knew better.
The military's changed. We love
Yeah,
it.
it has.
We promote it. We love the people who do it. I know people who make that sacrifice, that
Me too,
service
and they're
to go.
wonderful.
And then you have others like those in the video doing what they're doing. But once again, you could be court-martialed if you don't.
Ugh.
I mean, you could face a lot of situations there. Megan says they are probably tougher than all of the sissies we have running around our country. No doubt about it.
Oh, you absolutely know
And
that's
Mr.
right.
Thompson says, don't forget about all the illegals coming across the border during
That's
the
right.
pandemic that weren't required to get the cupcake.
Right.
Same situation.
Mhm.
It's not the soldiers, it's the commanders.
Absolutely.
And you could
Terry.
only hope if the shit hit the fan, that
Mhm.
people would not listen. Men and women in armed forces would not listen to a few commanders. Because believe it or not, as we showed you video, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, we still have numbers. We still have power in the people. There are, if people unite,
That's right.
there are more people who want good than want bad.
Mhm.
And that, from the video that we showed you, might have been the biggest mistake that the globalist, the deep state
Mhm.
made in not thinking that people would actually rise up and do what they needed to do. That you'd have people that would support a Donald Trump.
Yep.
Connie says, hell no, I'd be in jail if did that to any of my family.
I'm
Yeah.
with Connie. I don't know what I would do if somebody forced my kid like that. I don't know. And I guess it'd be really hard unless you had a lot of money. How do you sue the military? How do you do that?
Well, Troy says, people, that's not following orders. That's criminal activity forced by Biden's administration.
Good point. Good point.
Exactly. And
Well-
then they get put into bad situations.
And I don't know why. A couple people on the chat line said, why didn't he just quit if he didn't want it? Well, I think it got farther than that. I mean, they actually put him in solitary confinement.
Yeah, for 60 days.
So even if he wanted to quit, he was jailed.
Seems to me our government will keep oppressing us until we rise up, then martial law, and then UN intervention. Yeah, Robert, that would be the step. And maybe that's what those in power want. Maybe that's what they want. The UN intervention, because we already see from a global standpoint what's happening. You're not a conspiracy theorist. You're just ahead of the game. Don't forget that.
Mhm.
You're not a conspiracy theorist. There's nothing wrong with you for connecting the dots. That's the problem. Too many Americans have not connected the dots or wanted to connect the dots. Then the gun grab starts, according to Paul. Those things can happen as well. That's what we try to stay away from, because we try to talk about all the free speech things that are out there. Do what you want. Say what you want, but don't forget that the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, your speech and your guns are under attack. Michelle says they are pushing us to the point of no return. It's just a matter of point. And as Chris wants to remind us, if he was still under contract, yes, he would be dishonorably discharged. That's what I was talking about.
Mhm.
And that's something that follows you for life.
That's right. He was damned if he did, damned if he didn't.
Pretty much. And then we get frustrated when we see those stories happening, when we see what's going on. Those are some of the things that frustrate the hell out of us. We wanted to show you and talk about something more positive.
Let's do it.
Tucker Carlson.
Oh, okay, that's
He continues
positive.
to kick ass, take names, continues to have massive support on TCN. I respect the guy for what he does. I respect how smart he and his staff are. I love this. Listen to the ovation he got last night. He was at Kid Rock's event. He was introducing Kid Rock. Kid Rock had an event. Tucker Carlson comes out to a Kid Rock event, and look at the support. I mean, he's a superstar. Just listen to the support that Tucker Carlson got when he came on.
I love that. He's having the time of his life.
All right. I mean, look at this.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe, you can play it as we talk over it. I mean, think about this. Fox News did everything they could to get rid of him. He creates his own network. And now he's even more popular than he was before when he was stuck under Fox's little thumb. And now he is who he is. And he has made so much more of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
The dude is a damn icon superstar right now.
Yeah, he is.
And he did it not because he did it with his brain.
He did.
And he has done it with his brain. And he refused to back down. He couldn't tell the stories that needed to be told on Fox because we know what their higher ups are.
And he tried.
And now he is traveling the country, traveling the world as an icon. And if you don't think the base for the conservative party under Donald Trump is as electrified as the Republican base has ever been going into an election, think again.
Mm-hmm.
This is just an example. Is it, do I dare call him an apostle of Trump? Is that sacrilegious?
No, it's not sacrilegious. I think it's very accurate. I do. I think it's accurate. And we've seen a whole transformation on Tucker.
And he's got balls.
Yeah, and he's got balls. He
Balls.
definitely has balls.
Read the chat live.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's just like I just watch an evolution of him, because when he started out, his show, honestly, I'm just going to call it out, was kind of goofy. And it was entertaining, but he would just talk and he would bring in the weirdest Democrats ever and twist them around and make them look silly. And his show was entertaining, and then it became real. And once he became real and telling the real truth, Fox and Sean Hannity didn't. I don't know if you ever watched the crossovers, but when you were watching Sean Hannity after him, Sean Hannity didn't really
he
like
was
him.
jealous. I mean, I'm not.
You think that's why it is?
Yeah, I like what Sean Hannity tries to do, but he was jealous.
Okay, yeah, I don't dislike Sean Hannity.
There's a lot of trust. I was in TV. It doesn't matter if it's local TV now. There's so much arrogance and egos. And just by the way, you make zero money in TV, local news, until you are a main anchor every day in a big market, and or your ratings are sky high. So many people get into TV and like those types of jobs because there's an ego thing. You get paid with ego. You don't get paid with money. People are still shocked when I give advice to younger people about television, and it's changed. Not as many people are asking now, but I tell people, I'm like, listen, unless you can't live without being a broadcaster or a reporter, don't do it, because you're not going to make money for a long time. You need family members to help you out. You'll make $24,000 to $40,000 maybe for a long time. It's a long, hard haul. Good luck. Enjoy it. Be like, what? So yes, people have those egos. That's why I think Sean Hannity saw a guy who was more popular than him, humbly, in my opinion, more intelligent, and he related to people better.
Correct.
And then, of course, you saw what he has done now. Fox News may be number one and continue to be number one in prime time from 7 to 11 as the ratings came out last week for the 22nd year. But their levels are far lower than when Tucker Carlson was there, which means they can't make as much money. So I absolutely love the video we see with Tucker Carlson. And not only that, from Tucker's standpoint, what he has done now, I love it. I walk in, and I don't see Joe laugh like out loud a lot. Joe's a great guy.
You talking about Pro Joe, our producer?
Pro Joe.
Yeah, just want to clarify.
And he's giggling. He's giggling like a little kid that just did he. And I'm like, what is he giggling about?
It's awesome.
And it was Tucker. Was this last night? Was this video from Tucker last night or over the weekend?
So the show was pre-recorded.
And we'd love to see you.
Oh, here we go.
There he is. There he is.
So the show's pre-recorded, and it's a show called Kill Tony. It's a very popular podcast on YouTube. It's basically stand-up comedy, gong show type thing. And the club that it's done at is in Austin, Texas. It's owned by Joe Rogan. Apparently Tucker had been, I don't know if it was a week ago or however long ago it was, Tucker was on the Joe Rogan show, or at least in Austin, Texas. And Joe Rogan kind of suckered him into going on the show. And I have a video of what happened.
What's up, fuck nigga? You good?
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go. Cam Patterson and Tucker Carlson high-fiving. This is
crazy. My grandma hates you, nigga.
She doesn't mean it.
Yeah, the fuck she does. Yeah, she does.
That is so funny that he's trying to say that his grandma hates him. And then, of course, he uses the N-word. And then you look at Joe Rogan and his face, he's dying.
They're all busting up. They look like they're about to crap.
Yeah, that was pretty darn funny.
I highly recommend everybody going to check out that episode.
No, but the good thing about it is Tucker will put himself out there in those situations.
Well, he was surprised. Joe Rogan, 30 seconds before they went out on stage, Joe Rogan just kind of said, "We're going out here."
So
And
he didn't even know
yeah,
he was going to go
had
sit
no
up there.
clue, and he had a blast.
And then to
entire
tell
time.
him that, somebody's grandma hates him.
Right. Oh, and he took it so well. He's such a
Clearly.
great sport.
And he's like, she doesn't really.
Right.
And he goes, oh, yes, she does.
Well,
Yeah, it's a good show.
Well, there's a reason. I mean, he has almost 13 million followers on X. And the information that he puts out gets hundreds of thousands of views, if not into the millions, because the guy is doing things and saying things that need to be said. That's America. That's what America is following. It's not Joe Biden. It's not these liberal hypocrites. They're not following these people. The MSNBC, CNN ratings are so bad. And they know they've got to go to cheating methods. There's no way in hell. No freaking way in hell Joe Biden can win an election. No way. No way, no way, no way. American people, wake up. November's coming. If we do indeed have the election, there's no way in hell Joe Biden can win. No way. There's no way. America has changed. They are changing. They see him as a loser. They see him as feeble. They know he can't do it. And even those who hate Donald Trump cannot get past the fact that Trump would be best. They know.
They know. They know, but their hatred towards him is so real, but they know. I mean, in my opinion, and most people that probably listen to this show, he won in 2020, not Joe Biden, but Donald Trump. And people like him even more. There is absolutely no way Joe Biden wins this election without some nefarious means that they're trying to drop the black swan on us.
And people love this. And once again, Tucker is a supporter of Donald Trump. He's in the inner circle. Joe Rogan, a supporter of Donald Trump. We talk about all these people coming forward, all these people from a national perspective, who are afraid to talk politics before. And I don't like entertainers who are entertainers for a long time first. Tucker Carlson is different.
Yes.
He actually got into politics and did issues. Joe Rogan is different. He actually broke down, has podcast, breaks down and has the guest on to talk about, to debate the issues that are going forward. These people were trying to do life issues first, political issues first, not like a singer who all of a sudden goes, oh yeah, I'm just going to all of a sudden support this person. I know what's best. No, show us that you have some freaking chops when it comes to the topics that need to be talked about from a political standpoint. And thank God we have Tucker Carlson doing that.
For sure. Thank God about that.
I mean, what a life. What a life now. I mean, you're bouncing with Kid Rock.
Yes. And he looks so happy.
To super popular podcast comedy shows with Joe Rogan and the crew that was there.
And he owns the network that he works on now, so he can do whatever he wants to. It's so exciting for him.
And it's profitable.
Yes.
I don't know what he's making, if he's even trying to make any money yet.
I'm hearing he's making a lot less, but he had money from when he was at Fox. But no, I read an article, don't know if it's true, that he's not making a whole lot of money right now, but he's having the time of his life.
Well, it's interesting. I brought up Joe Rogan. We showed him on the video. Glenn from the chat line said that once again, yes, it is going to be Newsom replacing Biden as a Democratic candidate. Now, we talked about that several months ago.
We did.
And we didn't see it there, how there would be any way possible.
Correct.
That Newsom would even be considered a viable candidate.
But people are coming back out and saying that. Like Eric said it a year ago that's what he thought was going to happen. And then I'm seeing Rogan say it. Tommy Lahren is saying it. Everybody's saying this is just what's going to happen.
Because, if they did, they tried to roll him out first.
Yes.
And it was.
That's right.
It was a total failure because the guy does not resonate. And if he tries to run for president, we're going to show the video of him tripping over the little Chinese kid again. I don't know if you guys, and then blaming the kid. Oh, nothing happened here. The guy is not what you want. And it doesn't make sense. He's not going to appeal to America. He doesn't. I know that Fox tried to give him a bunch of airtime with Ron DeSantis and their debates. And Ron DeSantis embarrassed him, undressed him in debates. I mean, he is not that intelligent. Is he sly? Yeah, he's sly. But he is less informed and less intelligent than a Barack Obama, in my humble opinion. And nobody likes him.
Nobody does.
They just don't like him.
No.
If that would be a good thing. If they put him out there instead of Biden.
Yeah, the only
people that I think that they feel sorry for him.
They do feel sorry.
And it's those old people that we talk about. Oh, well, he cares. He's been around forever. Jeannie, of course, reminds us. And we already showed you a video of sheriffs calling out Newsom in California. Look at California, guys. No way would we allow him to be a puppet for them behind the scenes. No way. He is a puppet. Yes, he would be. The Democratic Party is there. Megan says libs love him. That's why he's still in position. Well, libs.
Well, that's because they can control him. They
libs,
can.
Well, libs may love him, but that doesn't mean America's going to love him.
Correct.
Unless they
he's
know
just
that
a younger Biden.
Unless they know that they can force him in some sort of situation when it comes to actions of voting.
Right.
That's the only way in hell that would happen. No freaking. That's your best guy.
Right. That's it. You either have Sleepy Joe or Gavin.
No.
Not a good choice.
No,
Neither
no.
one of them.
Rogan would destroy him as well.
Mhm.
And all you have to do is break those stuffs down. Chris says there is zero way they can replace knee pad Cammy. Their base would revolt against the DNC for replacing a woman of color. That's the first female VP with a white man. The party would implode.
There's a lot of truth that people keep forgetting that about her. Even though she's useless and she's not very smart, they love that about her because she fits their mold, does whatever they want, and she's a black female. So you're right. The people keep forgetting you can't just replace
But we
her.
called Gavin Newsom being the only candidate a long time ago, and we talked about it. And then, of course, I always say, pull out the scorecard. I'm pulling it from the back of my mind. He went to China to meet with President Xi. And everybody's like, wait a second. Shouldn't that have been Biden? Biden should have been the guy, but we're sitting Gavin Newsom, the governor of an incredibly horrible state who has done absolutely nothing, has no track record of success in the state of California, nothing except winning elections because they have an almost 3-to-1 advantage of Democrats to registered Republicans. To send him to China. And then when Xi came to California, to San Francisco, who met him? It wasn't Biden. It was Gavin.
That's right. It was Gavin.
With all the Chinese flags sitting right there in San Francisco. It looked like China. People running down the street. Oh, he's here. The president of China's here. No freaking way in hell would Americans vote for Gavin Newsom. No freaking way. No way.
But Jeannie says, well, but he looks good.
Oh, gosh, here we go. We're back into this again. It's April and we're talking about, don't bring up Michael. Why, Projo? Why are you bringing up Michael?
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Projo really thinks they'll still run Michael.
You can't run Michael and Cammy together.
Sure you can.
I don't think Cammy's going to run. There's no way they're going to put her up in front of everybody.
That's
It'll be Michael.
That's the only way. Then you replace a woman of color with a something of color.
And there was something that we didn't talk about it or anything, but there was something that we had been posting lately that said that she's really gearing up for her candidacy.
Well, and sometimes I think that, but
they
then
will
she
stop
came out
at
and said
nothing.
no.
I'm telling you, the elite left, the globals, the liberal deep state, as Trump refers to, will stop at nothing. They will do anything and everything they possibly can, then sit back and allow Donald Trump to take office. I still think back to Vivek, and I don't think he was saying it just for shock value, said there's no way the liberal left, the elites, the deep state, and don't forget, I'm a big believer in scorecards. There's no way that they will allow Donald Trump to sit in the White House. I know we don't want to see that, and we get excited and we show the videos because we do believe he is what's best for this country, as we saw what he did for 4 years compared to what the other side has. It's a no contest. It's a no comparison. It is a 100% slam dunk for Donald Trump. Biden has no chance. And there is no candidate with any appeal on the Democratic side except Michael Michelle Obama.
Correct. Michael Michelle Obama would get votes.
Gavin Newsom has nothing. Run his ass.
Yeah.
Put him
Go
up
ahead
there.
and run him. Yep.
Would absolutely love it. And then let's do a debate between Trump and Gavin.
You know, Joe,
because Ron DeSantis already destroyed him.
You know, you might not be too far off because they will not let, like Vic saying, Trump in the office again. So they're going to try everything because they don't know what to do. They still do not have any idea what to do. And Michael Michelle says he is not running, but Obama absolutely loves to have all the control. And if he has to put his she up there to do it, that I could still see that being done. I absolutely could.
I think hers actions speak louder than their words.
I do too, because you can't believe what they say.
But
You
it's
can't-
interesting that Rogan said that because Rogan's running. He's running in that crowd. There's no way in hell they can run Gavin Newsom.
I don't know.
But I know Rogan knows that crowd, and we talked about this so much. We tried to be ahead of the game, and anybody with half a brain could have said, okay, the left only has Gavin Newsom. They have nobody else. And Michelle Obama, he, she. That's it. That's all they have.
Yeah.
Which of the lesser two evils are they really going to say that they could try to do that with? And then for Joe Rogan to start saying it again, something was leaked, something came out, because I trust the sources that he has. And he's not just going to talk bullshit. He has a good track record. He really does.
Right.
Yeah, Donna, Newsom doesn't do it for anybody. Auntie Nancy, well, Nancy is not his aunt. They're not related by aunt. She is not his aunt.
Well, but they're both from San Francisco, so
Yeah,
that's why some
they have
people call
another
her Auntie
connection.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, at one point in time, she was rumored to be his aunt.
Yeah.
That's why
Well, and
people
isn't
say it.
somebody related? They're related somehow, aren't they? Somebody's dating somebody.
No, they're not related. They're not blood related. No. Wait a minute. She hates DC. No way. What is that from the comment line?
Talking about Michael Michelle.
Oh,
doesn't
they
want to
live
stay
near
there.
DC.
Yeah, they purposely moved there.
Yes.
Ever since Donald Trump was there, and they rented and then bought that mansion a couple blocks away.
By the way, this is canceltheshow.com here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. You catch all of our episodes at canceltheshow.com. Love it when you jump into the live cast as well. Second to none. Appreciate your support. You educate and entertain us. We do the same with you. If there's stories, if there's interviews that we need to know, let us know. News headlines, political interviews from all over the country, the cancel culture stories that mainstream media will not talk about, hence the name of the show, and our Free for All Fridays, which is conspiracy, paranormal, and all things wild and interesting, including our comedy as well. Midnight Sun says Newsom and Pelosi are related. She is not his aunt. I'm telling you that right now. Megan says, God forbid they live in Chicago with all of the illegals. Yeah,
Right.
great point.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see the Obamas there. Not hardly. From the chat line, Pam says that Gavin heard he is related to Hitler. It might make sense. I don't know.
Makes sense.
I don't
makes
know.
sense.
No, I don't know if him doing
And nobody
like that.
trusts him. I don't know who he's related to whom because they lie so much. But I mean, there is a connection to Pelosi, whatever it is. Who knows why? Probably he is a descendant of Hitler. He acts like it.
Jeannie says, no, he, Michelle, Michael, didn't want anything to do with it, but he wanted to live there, not her, him.
Well, I believe that to be true. I believe that's true for sure. Well, and like Newsom is so connected, like Les is saying on YouTube, and we say this a lot, that Newsom's ex, is now Trump Jr.'s girlfriend.
Yeah.
See, I think that's all just so weird to me.
So what does that mean?
Okay. Well, Newsom.
I don't think that it's that big of a deal. If you run in circles and certain societal circles,
Well, but usually if you're a Trump, you're pretty invested in the policies that you want. And Newsom's the total opposite.
Yeah, but that Guilfoyle isn't. She had enough of that bastard.
Well, good point then. Okay.
She's like, I need a real man.
Okay, there you go.
Seriously, Lizzie, you got to have a real man.
Well, and what's so funny, she completely changed. Not only is she didn't have a real man, she has a different face too. She looks completely different.
Oh, her.
She doesn't look the same at all.
And I thought they were married. I thought they're married.
I don't think they ever got married. Not that I know of.
Wait a minute, Eric? I mean, the Trump Jr. didn't get married to Guilfoyle?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought they were married.
I don't think so.
They both have the corrupt gene.
Both have the corrupt gene.
Pam says, you got it, Vic. Yeah, maybe. We'll see where that is. Don Jr. is married to Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Okay. I didn't know that they actually got married.
Yeah, just know me. I'm or engaged. Now they're saying engaged. Here you go.
Yeah.
I told you guys this was the deal. I told you Gavin was not the nephew of Nancy Pelosi.
Mm-hmm.
Megan reminds us Gavin's aunt was previously married to Nancy Pelosi's husband's brother. So Pelosi's husband, about him and hammers and the rear end and boyfriends. I'm going to leave it there, but that was a lover's spat when somebody broke into the house and
correct.
Anyway, it's Pelosi's, the husband, the guy It's his brother was married.
Okay.
So that's where people thought that
That makes sense.
there was blood relation, but they've known each other. So they've been
Mhm.
around, and we love it. People giving us the inside relationship status.
Yes.
Allegedly, they've only been engaged for a short amount of time.
Yes.
Don Jr.
I
and
just
Kimberly
looked that up.
Guilfoyle.
I didn't think they had gotten married yet because I didn't get my invitation.
And for those people in the Missouri area, Kimberly Guilfoyle was in charge of Eric Greitens' campaign for Senate.
Correct. Yeah. So I saw her a lot for a little while.
And
She was really nice, actually. Very, very nice and very smart.
the chat line, I love you guys.
I do love the chat line.
They all have derangement syndrome.
They sure
Maybe.
do.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see where it all goes. It is interesting as the political world turns. But guess what? There are people who date others after, life goes on in politics. Now, that brings us into a story we've talked about before. Kimberly Guilfoyle is all conservative Republican. But in this day and age, I don't know how in the hell. And we had an example yesterday from our chat line with issues being so deep, so important. And of course, we love the First Amendment right. Vote for who you want. We're going to teach you. We're going to educate you. We're going to give you information. We're going to talk about facts, not feelings. And then you go do what you want, live your life how you want, as long as you're not touching our kids. If you come after the kids in any way, then we're going to have a problem. Then we're going to stand up. Then we're going to call you out for what you are. But guess what? Go be you. We're going to bring that information out there. But how in the hell people who have a conservative mindset can marry and get along with somebody who has a liberal mindset and vice versa? I have no idea.
Yeah, that would be really hard.
I don't know, because issues are so polarizing.
They are. And
maybe it's a
your
maturity
morals.
level and a love level that I don't understand.
My parents have done it my entire life.
So okay. So Joe, explain that. So is one of your mom? Is your mom a Republican? And your
My
dad
mom
a
is the liberal. My father is staunch Republican.
And they're fine with that. Do they just not talk politics then?
Pretty much, yeah. They watch their political stuff in separate rooms.
Wow. Separate rooms.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But then it sounds like they're living separate lives.
They just don't discuss politics.
And how old? What age? I see this happening older. It's so difficult for me to for people that might be 50 and under.
My dad is
I think so too.
My dad is in his mid 70s. My mom is in her early 70s.
Okay, so that makes sense to me because, back then politics was not as polarizing. And so they probably maybe still haven't gotten it to that level.
Brenda's doing it. Her husband's an old union guy. He just doesn't realize that he's really a conservative. I mean, because if you're the old union guy, you're a conservative. Then it's a pride issue.
Correct.
And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be difficult or mean by saying that, because
and they're doing it because
my
Brenda
dad,
and Tom have a good marriage.
my dad was the same way. And then he had to swallow his pride and say, you know what, this union deal, yeah, it's all made up. And he did. And the last Democrat he voted for was Barack Obama, and he didn't do it a second time. And then he saw the light.
Yeah.
He's like, this is not what's good for America. This is not what I signed up for. Glenn says, and then they cancel each other's vote.
Right.
Says,
that's
we don't
right.
talk, we don't discuss politics.
Yeah, my parents.
And they're 63.
My parents don't even go vote because they would cancel each other out.
Yeah.
That is true.
And Susan says old people are just feel like they're stuck with each other.
That might be the case as well.
Right. You're just old and you just can't. Yeah, there you go. My in-laws were the same way. They didn't often vote politically,
But
and
if
they
you're
did not
single-
discuss it or they argued really bad.
But if you're single and you're under 50 now,
Yeah.
how can you, I mean, with politics and society the way that it is today,
Mm-hmm.
how can you be with somebody that is so different?
They are saying that there's a new trend out, and it's called the silver divorce.
What's the
That
silver
means
divorce?
that people getting divorced at an older age after being married for 50 years or so.
I didn't know it had a name, but I heard that that's happening more
What's the
prevalently right
point?
now.
What's the point?
Right.
I don't know.
I just,
And that's sad that we're even having to talk about this, but it's true. I agree with you. I even tell my kids. I remember when I was a kid, nobody asked me, okay, who are you dating, a Republican or a Democrat? My kids will know right away that if they're a Democrat, and it's not the old-fashioned Democrat, but if they're a progressive, feminist, whatever, I look at them like, I don't think this is going to work out. And so my kids already are like, we don't want to bring one of them around my mom and my dad. And it's not because I hate these people. It's just, I agree with you. My kids are conservative and are very opinionated. Surprise, surprise. So their marriage would never work.
I can't even think about dating or being with somebody that could possibly think that it's good to vote for Joe Biden?
I was in a relationship right before the one I was in with a.
But which
liberal.
one? You've got so many damn women running around. I don't even
The one
know.
in Florida was liberal.
Okay, I knew that, by the way.
Well, and we could tell that the minute she walked in here. She was very nice.
Yeah.
But
I just didn't want to
think you
tell
guys
you
were ever gonna
that,
Oh, I knew she was.
that you were on a one-way ticket to
Yeah.
nowhere.
We figured that was going to be the
It
end
was
of
a
that.
journey. It was a journey I had to take on
But
my
trust
own.
me, the road to nowhere led to her, not you.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. Well, and nobody can tell anybody else that story, but I agree with you so much, Vic, that if you were married before,
How could you hug or kiss somebody else that you know is all about the
the
sniffer?
hair sniffer? I
The
know. I
sniffer.
would have a problem with that. Yeah.
I mean, how could you? Oh my
know.
God. There's no way in hell. No way. 15
I would have a
under.
really hard time with it. I personally could not. I could not. I would probably hurt them or they would hurt me with my mouth. So it would not work.
Besides, here's the other thing. Even if it was just maybe physical attraction,
Yeah.
you're going to be talking at some point in time. It won't last. There's no way in hell.
Mhm.
I don't even know. How do we even get on the damn subject? Oh, somebody took us down Trump lane.
Well, and I get
Somebody
that. I
was
do
upset
get
that
if you've been
Don
married a
Jun-
long time. You
Somebody
shouldn't
was
just get a
upset
divorce.
that Don
You shouldn't.
Jr. took Gavin seconds, and that led us down that path.
Yeah.
But anyway, Brenda says, I was a Democrat when I married the Democrat. Do we
So
think alike?
so they used to think alike,
But I have
but
changed.
she changed.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, and that is okay. So then if you change, if you're both Democrats and one woke up and the other one is being stubborn, there's nothing you can do about that because her husband's a good guy. He's just wrong. I mean, he's just wrong.
It may last for a little bit, but it's not going to last for a long time.
So you're thinking that you need to slip a lawyer's name to Brenda?
No, they're set.
They are set because
I'm talking about new dating couples.
I agree because once you've been married a long
No way
time,
in freaking hell will it work.
no,
You may
not
be-
if you're 20 or 30
You may be
years old.
physically attracted, but it will not be lasting. Politics has gone that way, or you're not going to talk politics at all. And then I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's because today it's different than the
Because
olden days.
politics is affecting every fabric of life.
That's right. In the olden days, you could be a Democrat or be a Republican and leave it in its lane. Now it's your moral fiber if you're 20 or 30 years old. It's a type of person that you are.
Susan says from the chat line, I cannot socialize with anyone that I know is a lib. I just won't. I get it.
I have to disagree with that.
It is no different than both were not Christians, then one became one.
And that makes sense.
And
yeah, I can see that too.
And I understand what you're saying, Joe. You want to expound upon that?
Well, I just think that if we cut off all ties between the two, that's exactly what they want.
Well, and that's what we think we shouldn't do.
Right. We need to be discussing these things.
I do too. And that's the thing that I noticed about being on this show was when I met Vic and you for that matter, I had gotten into an echo chamber working at a former place and stuff that's like, you only like Republicans, you only like Republicans. But then I remembered back to, I employed a lot of people over the years and I liked them even if they didn't agree with me. And when I got here and I saw you guys and like, you still have liberal friends?
Yeah, you do.
Like you have liberal friends.
You're just not sleeping with them or having relationships.
Right.
That with
you
them.
just have to make sure you are strong in your beliefs because they will try to shake them.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So you just, I mean, I still do. I probably offend a lot of liberals because I open my big mouth and I say something about it. And they don't like it. I mean, they just don't like it when I talk. And it's not even Trump. It's not even like I like Trump or whatever. I will just say, how do you like that border being wide open? You going to invite any illegals in to sleep with you? I mean, I guess that pisses them off.
Well, hell yeah, it does.
Did you open up your bedroom to illegal your way? And
there's not much you can say to a liberal that won't piss them off.
Very good point. They're very sensitive.
Maturity comes with that at times. A lot of Dems change and switch to conservative.
Very true. Very true.
So that's the long play.
That's the long play. So you still love on those Democrats, and you bring them over to the bright side.
Yeah, from the chat line, like Susan said, they just don't discuss. It's why I created the anti-snifferator cone of shame, Greg. Okay, whatever that may be.
That means that if you invite a liberal friend in, you know that they're gonna, they might be sniffing your dog or
Yeah,
sniffing
and there
your
may be,
kid.
and like Gary said, he's like, libs smell me. They know they don't like me.
Yeah,
They
that's
see me
right.
coming. They don't want to deal with me, and that's just fine.
Yeah, I could see that about Gary, one of our listeners, and people like Gary, that you just breathe this exuding of balls and patriotism, and that really offends a liberal.
Yeah.
Balls.
It-
There you go.
It can. Well, we love you guys here when you join us for the show. Was there anything else that we didn't get to today?
What if Florida and Texas were one state?
You know what? I don't know. Do we show it today? Yeah, you know what? Let's show it. We'll show. We got a little time here. I saw this just from a standpoint, and it could be more of a Friday deal, but imagine, just think about this. Maybe there's hope for the future. Maybe part of the Civil War that could be coming. A little offbeat, but we'll show you this before we get out of here today. I just thought this was fascinating when it comes to numbers and possibilities.
What if Texas and Florida decided together to break away from the United States and form a single country? Well, if Texas and Florida wanted to break away from the United States, firstly, Florida and Texas will most likely invade and annex Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, as it will connect the country by land, as well as it will give the country clear access to the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. If we take a look at its economy, you can see that it would already be the third richest country in the world, with the combined GDP of $4.5 trillion. This amount of money would make the country more rich than Japan, India, and Germany, while still remaining behind China in the US. The total land area of the Sun Belt Republic is approximately 455,000 square miles, making it the 55th largest country in the world by land area, larger than Germany and Sweden, but smaller than France. It would have a population of almost 66 million people, which means that it would have more people in it than all of France, making it the 23rd most populous country. Finally, its military, with 225,000 total personnel, would be bigger than the military of France, Germany, and United Kingdom. What if Texas and
All right, what do you think about that? Because as we were reminded from the chat line, the movie
Mhm.
Civil War comes out, guess
There
when?
you go.
This week.
I don't know. Both those states have a whole lot of illegals that just came through. So you're going to now make them break away from the United States, and they probably have the most illegals of anyone.
Well, and
So think about that.
A couple good man-made engineered hurricanes would take care of that whole situation.
There you go.
This is turning into a Friday.
There you
It
go.
is turning to a Friday. And I figured people would be fine with that. People like, that'd be okay. I'd move to that country.
Yeah.
The Southeast, Texas, Florida, what,
Mhm.
Alabama, Louisiana.
Yeah. I want Alabama. I'd like Alabama.
Yeah, Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi would freely join as well.
Mhm.
They wouldn't have to be occupied.
Yep.
Very interesting. And then, of course, Donna has to bring up harp. There we go.
There has to be.
All right, it's turning into a Friday really fast.
There you go. When Paul's saying what I was kind of saying, but he summed it up better. Texas is a purple state, so be careful, because Texas is not what it used to be with that border wide open. Even southern Florida is not what it used to be because of the border open.
Yeah, but
so
Florida's going to take care of it. They're doing everything they can. There's still
Ron DeSantis is great.
There's still 900,000 more registered Republicans in the state of Florida.
Good.
An all-time high for recent times.
Okay. Well, happy to hear that.
So anyway, that does it for the show today, guys. We love it when you join us Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central Live. You can catch us on our website, canceltheshow.com. And of course, we'll have the rest of the show put to the audio platforms as well. And if you missed any of the show, it saves lives. Or
it does save lives. It will save lives. It absolutely will.
All right.
Listen to the show and you won't be dead.
Save to live. The live is saved to Facebook, to X, to YouTube, to Cloud Hub. It's all those places. Let me take a drink.
He has to drink on the job
I
because he
almost
works
made it.
next to me.
I should drink on the job.
You should. He didn't used to drink until, his co-partner over here. I make him drink in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll drink on the show.
I drive him to drink.
When you pop the gummies.
Okay, so stay tuned for that.
Guys, thanks. Hey, thanks for getting the word out about what we do here. Not only from a local standpoint in the state of Missouri, but across the country, the audiences around the country. We're grateful for you guys. If you guys have ideas on anything that can help the show grow, anything that can help us behind the scenes, please let us know, jump in. And of course, we're grateful for everything you guys do with your comments on the live cast Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Okay, that does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting, cancelthisshow.com. Have an awesome Tuesday. For Pro Joe and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. We'll see you guys tomorrow.